distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Om Swastiastu. It's really nice to see you, almost all the participants, to be here again in this ballroom this morning. Since this is the last day of our international of our international symposium. So I'm so honored to be here, but let me first introduce myself. My name is Hermanto, and I will be moderating this plenary in about 1 hour ahead. And as you may have been informed previously that this plenary session will talk about vocational education. And this topic comprises at least 3 sub-main topics. They are professional certification, and then quality assurance, and integration of vocational education to Industry 4.0. Ladies and gentlemen, this topic, I guess, will be such an interesting and important topic since we expectedly will gather from the remarkable speakers all the solutions, ideas, maybe lesson learned that will guide us in managing vocational education and training in Indonesia, especially. We will hope that eventually vocational education and training institution in Indonesia will provide high-skill resources to thrive in this transforming world. So, as we have been informed that this plenary will have 3 speakers, I would like to introduce them one at a time. The first speaker is Dr. Chol-hee Kim. Dr. Kim is a senior research fellow, and Dr. Kim is senior research fellow and head of employment and skill evaluation research division at Korea Research Institute for Vocational Education Training, or CRIVET. His major research areas are labor market analysis, employment insurance, TVET and skills development, international development cooperation, and social security. Today, Dr. Kim will deliver his speech about how to respond to the 4th industrial revolution and training skills development. With that, I hope that you will pay full attention to him and help me welcome him to the stage. Dr. Kim. Okay, please visit. And the second speaker, we will have Dr. Sajarwo Anggai. He is an officer of Siamio Secretariat, Bangkok, Thailand. He won many awards in ICT field, was active in many remarkable professional and social, both national and international organizations, has written many books and articles in ICT field, and also has published many of his research and studies. So today, Dr. Anggai will be sharing his presentation titled Preparation for Education 4.0 in Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him to the stage, Dr. Anggai. And last but not least, as the third speaker, he is Dr. Anies Wes Khairuman. Dr. Wes Anies Khairuman got his doctoral degree in State University of Jakarta. Now he is a deputy Director of Distance and Special Education, Director of Learning, Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education. Besides as Deputy Director, he also active as a lecturer and two well-known universities. They are State University of Jakarta and University of Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa Banten. He also wrote some books in the field of educational technology, especially distance education, such as distance learning in secondary education level, distance learning, etc. Please, okay, give applause first for, yes, you already, that's good. Ladies and gentlemen, the third speaker, Mr. Wes Anies Khairuman, will give his speech on the SPADA. And for all the speakers, we have 45 minutes to deliver the speech, and each speaker will have only 15 minutes. And the first speaker to deliver the speech will be Dr. Kim. The floor is yours. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. Yes, I'm very happy to talk with you and then our emerging issues and then compare with both countries, Indonesia and Korea. We have same challenges and the problems to labor markets and the education system. And then we think about how to respond these challenges and problems and then complicate matters. And then I hope that this conference we have think more efficiency and proper time in the solutions that issues. And I'm very happy. And just before mentioned Minister of Finance, and then I have a very interesting insight because Indonesia is a very big country, and Korea is very small and strong country. Just now, and Korea's population is 50 million, and just now we unemployment rate is very high, about 8%. Especially youth unemployment rate is about over 10%. This is very serious problems in Korea labor markets. And how to solve these emerging problems, and we have to search for in the education system and the skills development, policies and legislations, so many respond and then solutions. So another one is he mentioned is human capital index, and 2 months ago, World Bank is announcing this Bali, and the result of the Korea is ranking 2, second. First is Singapore. As you know, and then this is 3 points. First one is survival and school and learning, and then finally is health. This is covered so many circumstances points, but is behind these indicators, we have so many problems, and then I think there is the same problems in your country. And then tomorrow afternoon, I'll meet the director of the social protection and jobs in World Bank. This is the charge of this human capital index. I will meet him. So I'm discuss with your big plan and big vision in your countries, and talking with the corporate and international organizations and Korea and Indonesia. I hope so. And finally, just mentioned in the keynote speakers in Sustainable Development Goal, as you know, this is covered the international standards vision, global vision. And so I'm look at in my presentation title is covered so big and covered in the lifelong learning and skills development, including in the education and technical vocational education and training. This is we think about in the expanding the span, our thinking span. Almost in countries in Southeast Asia, in Asian countries, focusing the youth in school level. But it's now, as you faced in the rapidly changing in the technology and social circumstance, and we covered in the before school and schooling and after school, after the entering labor markets and the work, and then after retire, we can consider it in the lifelong learning. So I could catch up in the title of presentations. I'd like to present the three parts. First one is I work in the CRIBET in Korea. CRIBET is a think tank in the Tibet or skills development in Korea. So I briefly introduce in CRIBET. And second is main topic is how to managing and operating in professional certification and qualification, and then quality assurance in Korea case. I'd like to more detailed information. Lastly, how to respond in this faced in the challenges. In Korea case, we now and then many policy and legislation is changing. So I hope to discuss with our response. Okay. And I don't know what is do you have another research think tank in the Tibet or skills development? And then because we are very big countries, and then this is in skills development and vocational education training covered in the very big part of the education, because we have catch up the lifelong learning. So we touch with in the all part of the education and labor markets, including in the law and fund and teacher, curriculum development, certificate, and career guidance, information systems, industrial, academia, like this. We covered in the all like this part. And then if you want more information, you touch with the internet site. And oh, sorry, same problems. And then my colleagues all most major part of the economics and education and engineers. So many colleagues research in our institute. And we covered, just mentioned, and all covered in the HRD, human resource development and management. And then especially we covered in the certification, professional certification and qualification research division. So, and it's very similar event we took place in the last month. That topics of how to forward respond in the post-industrial revolutions and digitalization. It's same issues in this conference. And then this is very similar. It took place in the forum. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is publications in CRIBET. Okay, next. I hope to think about Think Aid for post-industrial revolution and digitalization. As you know, digitalization is processing so long ago, and then advanced countries and European and other continents. But we already know this is more and more in progress in our society. So, but many people and also me too. And I don't know what's the first industrial revolution and then digitalization. It's different in each other, but and then initialized in the 2016, and then World Economic Forum. This is starting in the publicly in the announced like the one. And as you know, and this is a figure, right side, this is it's possible to potential job vacancy in the country. This is including in the Indonesia. This is, we have a very potential power in the labor market or skills development. This is opportunity for time in the employment. So, and then approximately in the many experts in forecasting decrease in the job and occupation by the automation. So, I'm sorry. And as you know, in United Kingdom, two professors, Osborne and Frey, is estimating the risk of automations. The result of the 47% is very risky in the automation. So this is left side in office and administrative and manufacturing and production. Like this is the decreased occupation. The other hand, and then business and management and finance and computer, this is increase in the job or occupations. This is already we know. And okay. Oh. Oh. Okay. This figure shows us, and then just now, more and increase in the non-routine task. Yesterday, and then we are, until now, and then the increase in the routine or cognitive works. But it's where future work is more and more, and then the increase in the non-cognitive and non-routine work. So we refer to this part. And as you know, and then we changed the teaching. How to teaching? What do you think about what's the methods? This is how to use in the computer and internet. What's the level? What's the teaching or what's the learning level? It's different. So just now when project-based learning and deep learning and machine learning, and this will be introduced in our classroom or each curriculum or each programs. Okay, so I would like to, in the two parts, first one is professional certificate. This is the role of the certification is the signal and guiding and licensing. And then just now and then they increased in the exchange of the manpower and workforce. So just now, so many countries launched in the mutual recognition agreement of qualification and certification. In Korea case, just now in China, Japan, and Vietnam, and Australia, and Brazil, just now we're talking about in the MRA. And then Indonesia is a very big country. Also, I suggest for starting in the MRA discussion. And quality control system, we have also, and then we have another agencies under the Minister of Education and Minister of Employment. And so this is, okay, this is our historical background of the certification. We have, sorry. Okay, now we have national technical certification is 572, 27 operating in the management in each ministries. And then this, sorry. Very difficult to control the moment. Okay. And we have a 5-level certificate. Just now we have each level, and then we have application. This is matched in each level of the education. This is refer to you. And Okay, this testing criteria, this is 5 level, it's 5 level. And we have introduced in the 2003 National Competence Standard, we covered it all occupations, 890 job and occupations. This is a specialized case in the world. And just now we supported by government and the national level, and then we have standardized in the attitude, skills, and knowledge. And this is used in each curriculum or each school. And this is a process of make the education module. This is, I will show you this one. And next is regarding the quality assurance. This already we have and then Korea Skills Quality Authority. This is controlled and then management of the whole program of the Korea. We have about 700 vocational education training providers. This agency is controlled like this one. And then just now we will support by government of Minister of Labor and Minister of Education is supported in leading training institutions. This is regarding, in terms of the post-industrial revolutions and then digitalization, we supported in the open program and yes, and then smart learning and training like this also. And this is a process of the control of quality assurance in Tibet sector. As you can see in role of this agency. Okay, and then this is where. You have running out of the time. Okay. Yes, I finalize. Okay, I'm sorry. And the finalize, I think about what's the role of the market or national or government. You're a big country, and then just now I hope to my suggestion, this is supporting and strengthening the market lead system. So if you want more efficiency in make the outcome and the outputs, and then we will support in the demand of needs in the market. This market means that providers and school and students, parents and employer, employee, and then we have another every year survey and every year analysis of almost in the administrative data set and then statistical data. So, and this is very important infrastructure. And so, okay. And then so this is on one point, emphasis, finalized established in the lifelong skills development map. This is, we plan to and make to, ready to, and then each level, and then we have to, how to support in the skills development. This is very important. Thanks very much for your attention. Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker will be Mr. Anggai. The floor is yours.
Test. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, maybe I can navigate my presentation by give a voice comment. And then, my name is Sajarwa Anggai. Actually, I'm IT consultant at Simeo Secretariat in Bangkok. And today, on behalf of Simeo Secretariat, I would like to present our themes about preparation for education 4.0 in Southeast Asia. Next. It's voice recognition. Okay, so what is the Simeo? Simeo stands for Southeast Asia Minister of Education Organization, Regional Open Learning Center. One of them in Indonesia that you know is Simolek, but actually the headquarters in Bangkok. And Simeo have 24 centers in the region that focus on promoting regional cooperation in education, science, and culture. So Simolec only one of our center in Southeast Asia that Dr. Abi Sujak the day after yesterday give the presentation about the Simolec itself. Next. And Simio has 7 priority area that focus, one of them is focus on technical and vocational education. Also focus on teacher education revitalization and then adopting 21st century curriculum. So, but today we are going to talk about the promotion technical and vocational education, or we call it a TVET. Next. And this is our base. We follow the ASEAN Qualification Reference Framework to make the harmonization for our technical and vocational education in Southeast Asia. Actually, AQRF have A level, and from general principle to the specific field. And each need analytical thinking, and also need the several tools, or we can call, maybe now we call it the component of Industry 4.0. But if we just learn about like science, and we cannot apply it in the some field, so it's, I think we cannot face the trend of Industry 4.0 in the future. Now, actually, many people talking about Industry 4.0, but for the implementation, they are also thinking, what is it? It's already happened, or still what they call wacana? So therefore, we need to think more about how we can implement this term in TVET. Next. But so what we have done in our office is we update our vision priority by regular review or adjustment, and then it's based on our experience journey. After we have, actually we collect the experience journey in Southeast Asia, and then we develop for example, one solution, and then create a prototype. If it's success, it will become business model, products, or service, or process itself. And then what after that? The output is system and infrastructure, master data, transformation, our transformation in our office or network, and then we have a culture, insight, and talent. Next. And only after we transform ourselves, we can see the emerging technology. Because if we didn't transform ourselves, why we can address to this emerging technology? For example, by Gartner. Next. If we see more closer in the emerging technology, there is like deep learning, IoT platform, edge computing, augmented reality, and then it's because peak of inflated expectation by the time. It's already booming to the media, and then after that, it will become to the plateau or mass production. Next. Therefore, Simio, with the centers in the region, we create like a workshop, actually already established since 2015, and we increase the the material to spread to our networks. For example, like this one, educational game development workshop. Next. In the region, as you can see in map, many participants, not only from Indonesia, but also Philippines, Cambodia, Thailand, Myanmar, Laos. Next. And there is more than 300 team where 71 teams submitted the project to the Simeo, and then the winner, we have 6 teams. Next. This one, the teams that the winner, the first winner from Thailand, and then second winner from Indonesia, and third winner also from Indonesia. Next. It's already mentioned by Pa Abi the day after yesterday. You can skip. Next. But the workshop, only the embryo. The game educational workshop, only embryo to the Southeast Asia Creative Camp. So we conduct the Sea Creative Camp 2018 with the several subjects. And it's also supported by Ministry of Education of Indonesia, with the DTVA and Simeo member in Indonesia. Next. So, what is the difference between camp and then regular competition? If we in camp, we should provide like orientation and then training session. And then we give them 1 month period to create the projects, and then we evaluate the project by the judge from internal or external. And after that, we announce the winners. Next. Example like this one, already mentioned by Pa Abi, so we can skip. Next. Next. Okay, this one is one program like a tourism promotion of our statistics. You can see more than 170 registered team, and then the submitted products is more than 40 in the 5 countries. Next. That is the example, but let's be back to the emerging technology, what's happened in 2018. What's happened actually? When we provide the camp like this, we also see what's happened in the industry. And then if you see the augmented reality through of the disillusionment, it means that it will become to the mass production. So we also actually can address to this one because it's almost to the production. Now maybe augmented reality only used by institution to show, oh, this is the material in the immersive model. But for the industry, actually we still thinking what industry can do with augmented, or maybe like yesterday Microsoft tell about the mixed reality. Next. So we continue our program to Southeast Asia Creative Camp 3 with the integration with the entrepreneurship. So not only create the program and submit to our secretariat, but also put the entrepreneurship inside. Because if you create a program, oh, this program is very good, but you don't have, you cannot sell the program, for example, for business, so you may be only wasting a time, for example, like that. Next. And this is for, actually, Sea Creative Camp 3 already ongoing, so we we propose for our C Creative Camp 4 in the next year. I hope you in this room can participate with students to get several subjects in C Creative Camp in the next year. Next. Okay, what we have also we have been doing with the Ministry of Education in Indonesia. We create the program SMK Pencetak Wirausaha, where we want the students become entrepreneurship, and also because we have a little jobs or jobs creator, so we hope them can make their own products and make their own company, not only for working for the company, but also create a job. Next. Next. Okay. Next. Okay, next. We can skip this one. And then we have a program, CTFET, for internship in Southeast Asia. So we want all of country in the Southeast Asia can be exchanged the students from, for example, from Indonesia to Philippines, to Thailand, for Vietnam. Next. Next. Sorry. Okay, for example, like this one. For the first batch, we send from Indonesia itself, send 23 to the another country. And then we receive also 23, but Indonesia in this graphics only receive 22, but it's okay. And then Thailand, for example, Thailand can send 3 students from Thailand to abroad, and they can receive 6 because they have more space for their company or institution in Thailand, for example. But it is okay for us. What I want to give you more attention about the policy in the region, not in the Indonesia itself, but for local government. Usually, teacher or in the university also, docent want or students from the university want to go abroad, but the policy it prohibit them. So we want you allow them to.
It's running out of time.
Okay, maybe still 2 minutes, and we hope that you allow them to go abroad to make them more to get the skill in the Southeast Asia region or in the world view. Next. Okay, next. Maybe we can skip this one. It's still similar with next. Still TVET, similar in Indonesia. Now in Indonesia, 105, and then receive 106. So it's increased. Next. Next. We can skip this one. You can visit our website for the CTFET program. You can back, sir. Back again. Okay. We also have one program, virtual coordinator, that enhance capability of educational staff in delivering courses online through WebEx. Actually, Cisco already mentioned about it the day after yesterday, the demo also. And if Cisco saw their products, we provide the account for the teacher, and it's free to use for your school to deliver material or course through WebEx. So if you want to join with us next year In early January, maybe, we will open the next batch for virtual coordinator. We will introduce how to prepare the class, how to share your best practice to all school in our networks, and then you can share each other. So we will give you an account, for example. You can manage by yourself. So this is, we call it the...
Sorry.
Okay,
to
maybe
make it
that is from me, but for the next slide, you can read in my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, the last speakers of this plenary, Mr. Wes Anis Khairuman.
Thank you very much, Pak Hermanto. Distinguished speaker, Charlie, our fellow from Korea, Anggai from Secretariat, Simeo Secretariat, Honorable the Director of the ICT, Center of ICT for Education, Pak Gogot, my guru and also my best friend, and Kepala Dinas Pendidikan Provinsi Bali, and distinguished participants here. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's so quiet. Are you awake? Hello? Jamaah? Wey, jamaah. Okay. If I ask you, are you awake? Please answer yes. Are you awake? Yes. Again, are you awake? Yes. One more. Are you awake? Yes, thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share with you about the lesson learned. This is a very contextual with our real situation in Indonesia, especially for the teacher education, in-service teacher education using online learning. Since the clicker full of hantu, as Chirp mentions, so I will ask the operator to next, next, and next. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, SPADA. SPADA is, I'd like to share about the SPADA. SPADA is Sistem Pembelajaran Daring. So SPADA, it's like that. It is created by our staff in Direktorat Pembelajaran. Please stand up, Ibu Lita. She created the name of SPADA. Please give applause to her. Okay, as a MOOCs, SPADA is a MOOCs of Indonesia. As a MOOCs, massive open online course. We provide the open content, open course, and online course. So, next please. The initiation of the SPADA is begin from 2014 and launched by our Vice President Budiono on October 15th, 2014. And until now, we still implement more services of the SPADA. Please next. Okay, right now we have some program from SPADA Indonesia. The first one is online course for blended learning, especially used for credit transfer among universities in Indonesia. What do we mean by the credit transfers? It means that one student from certain university can shop online course from another university. So they earn the credit and the credit can be transferred into their own universities. The second one is SPADA 7-in-1. It is online learning provided by 7 universities, supported by the Islamic Development Bank, IDB. The third one is student exchange through SPADA. This is a combination of the student mobility and online learning. So the student can also learn about the multicultural education from another university. For example, one university from Eastern of Indonesia sent to the university from the western of Indonesia or southern from Indonesia to the northern of Indonesia. The learning process between the student with the their own universities conducted by online learning. And the fourth one is hybrid learning for teacher profession education, for in-service training teacher profession educations. We have 70,000 in-service teachers that should be provided. They should have a certificate, but if we use the conventional model, it will take time. So we apply the online learning model. This one is, we call it hybrid learning. This is the thing that we are going to share with you. Next, please. Okay, next. Okay. Learning from the implementation of online learning for in-service teacher professional education. Next, please. Okay. The model, we have two models of hybrid learning for in-service teacher professional education. The first one is blended learning between online and offline. Online is for pedagogic course conducted with the online independent study for 3 months, and followed by offline for the workshop, field practice, and classroom action research in actions. And the second models, next please. The second model, we use split learning for in-service teacher professional education. As you can see on the monitor, on the screen behind me, it consists of two kinds of activity. The first one is student independently doing independent online study at night before face-to-face teaching after that in the morning. So for example, for pedagogic course on October 3rd at night they learn about the materials, and on the 4th October morning they will practice with the lecturer in the real class. So we have to model. Which one is the best model? I think the first one is good because the teacher do not have to come to the teacher education institution, so they can learn while they still teaching their students. But the next one, the second one, needs teachers to come to the teacher education institution. So this is the result of the online learning process. The result is not quite good enough because most of the students is rise 45% above 76 to 85. Next, please. Okay, next again. Next again. Okay, this is very interesting. The duration of the online activity, it's almost 6 hours per help desk or administrator, 6 hours a day. And student, almost 3 hours a day. And the most interestingly is instructor only 3 hours per day facilitating online learning. Next, please. Now, this is the very interesting one. I choose from one example for one universities. If you can see the activity of the student is high in the BAP, and the way instructor facilitating learning, you can see down in the yellow line. You can imagine that student, it's look like that student autodidact learning without guidance from the instructors. Next. So, what are the lessons learned? The first one is, next please. The first one is civil effect is matters. In the context of Indonesia, don't ever try online training or online learning if you're not very sure that your online learning or online training have civil effect. For example, when we use online learning for in-service teacher training, it has high civil effect for the teachers. Because if they do not follow the online learning, then they will not have certification. So the civil effect is matter. It will lead to students consider a course as not only a demand, but also a needs. In my experience, when we are conducting online training, for example, online training for tata laksana tuberkulosis untuk dokter. Sorry, in Indonesia. Tata laksana tuberkulosis untuk dokter. Pelatihannya online. Tidak ada yang ikut. Ya. Tapi pelatihan untuk fungsional teknologi pendidikan online 100% ikut. Kan begitu. So, yeah. So the civil effect is matter in the context of Indonesia. I don't know in the context in another countries. Lesson 2 is, please, content is a king. Content. So the problem in online learning mostly is in the content because the presence of the instructors represented by the content. So the content is the king. So poor quality of contents influence motivation and engagement student that will lead to the low of participation and completion rate of the online course. I remember what our best friend in Pustekom said that content of online learning should be sempit dan dalam. Do you know? Pak Aristo, Pak Gogot maybe you know him. Pak Aristo said that modul online learning harus sempit dan dalam. Most of modul lebar tapi cetek. Ya kan, kebanyakan gitu ya. Nah ini jadi permasalahan. Yang another problem is the variation of the module itself. More visual, more audiovisual is better. Okay, next one. The importance of student support. The importance of student support. As you see that the activities of the admin is very high, almost 6 hours a day. 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have to be ready providing technical assistance, not only for the students, but also for the instructor at the initial stages or at the beginning. Because not only participant who need a technical assistant, but also the instructor. For example, forget the password, or do not know how to submit the assignment, etc. Next, the lesson 4 is the importance of instructors' presence. Student learning with online, it doesn't mean autodidact learning. It is independent learning. Autonomous learning or self-regulated learning means they need a guru. They need a teachers. It's different with the autodidact learning. That's what Malcolm said in his books. So the instructors is very, very important. For example, in facilitating or in moderating online discussion forum, facilitating learning for assignment, etc., etc. Do not ever let the student submit the assignment today, and 2 years later, the instructor do not even touch the assignment submitted by the students. Ngirimnya hari ini, 2 tahun kemudian belum disentuh, apalagi diberi umpan balik dan diberi nilai. Itu adalah permasalahannya. Lesson 5, the importance of reliable online connectivity. It's not about the capacity. For online learning for the in-service teacher education, we only need less than 1 tera for capacity. But we need more than it for the traffic, up and down. So we need high memory and we need high processing in the, not only from the server. So I encourage you, if you want to deploy the online learning, please make sure that the connectivity online is 100% reliable. From the side of us and from the side of NMILE in the participants. The last one is, now this is the very, very important things for educational technologies. The importance of well design, well development, and also well implementations. Well designed without well implementations, it will useless. Well designed, well development, but well implementation, it is also will useless. Next, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Once again, give a huge applause for Pak Hermanto. Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
Mr.
I
Luis
send it back
Kahneman.
to you.
That's really remarkable speakers. I'm so amazed with what they talk about. So everybody here, you have learned much or you have learned a lot? Do you learn a lot about what? Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, we still have time to the session of question and answer, but fortunately we only read the question here in the monitor. I should look closer because I'm too old to be there to look at this monitor to understand the question. Please show us the questions. Until now, we haven't received the question here. Anybody should raise question because we still have 15 minutes and question and answer.
We are very appreciative if you have no question at all.
It makes me easy, of course. So, really, there are no questions? Oh, okay. Okay, I wait. Somebody gave me sign that there will be many questions, unfortunately. Okay. Or maybe... Okay, just give opportunity to the right side of the stage. Please, somebody give her microphone. Please, or maybe you go forward.
Thank you.
Okay, make it brief, make it short,
Thank you for the
and address to the all
opportunity.
speaker or the
Actually,
or one of them.
I am Shiva from Zenius Education. I want to ask the first speaker.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the last speaker.
Or the last speaker.
Actually, it's all about the online learning, right? Actually, I'm really curious, is there any other alternatives if we want to apply the online system or online learning that are so beneficial for the students and teachers in the underdeveloped regions? Because underdeveloped regions are very limited in online access, and will they miss the opportunity to have the same benefits? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you can directly.
I can answer directly. Okay.
Comment.
There are so many options. There are so many alternatives. Even we call it even in the framework of blended learning or hybrid learning, we have so many options. For example, we can blend between face-to-face and mobile learning. Mobile learning is very interesting one, because all of the people of Indonesia already have the mobile devices, right? And we use it only for texting and only for the calling someone. The problem is when we combine the face-to-face and also mobile learning activities, the challenge is in the content development itself. The content development, how to develop the content that is suitable for the mobile devices, and also its instructional design is good enough for the student in underdeveloped, such as in the rural area, etc., etc. So it depends on the content as the representative of the guru, of the teachers of themselves. So the other alternatives is the most important things is role model. I mean it's the model. For example, if we want to teach, for example, how scaffolding method, if you know scaffolding method, for lower student in primary school, it is better if we demonstrate the how scaffolding method into a video, into several clips of video. For example, it consists of 10 or to 15 clips of video related to the scaffolding for math in 3rd grade primary school, for example, compared to if we explain what is the scaffolding method through the penataran, through the pelatihan. So this is the challenge of Pustekom to provide audiovisual media that can give a real situation of how to something like that. For example, how is the inquiry-based learning for primary teachers, for primary students? How is discovery learning for science in, for example, a 3rd grade of primary school? If we have so many model of instructional methods, so we do not have to ask the teachers to come to certain training session, etc., so they can learn it from their own mobile devices. So there are so many options, I think. If we talk about blended learning, we have 12 model of blended learning actually. Besides flipped learning, as I mentioned in, and I used in this for teacher education. Thank you.
Okay, that's very good. Okay, because the time is limited, so the next question addressed to Mr. Kim, please.
Thank you for first questions. I have 2 answers. First one is I think it's very important, the information system and then career guidance. So many students, they don't know in the information of labor markets or job and occupation and future. So this is very important. So this is a very expanding the cost and then time. So this is a government, central government or local government support like this one. And second is basically, finally, the leading group is industry or company. In case of Korea, this is Master School, the type of the vocational high school. This is all level of participating in the industry and company expert. This is curriculum development or recruit employment or career guidance, all things. And then junior or technical college level also recruit in the experienced in the industrial professor. This is covered in all this information of the labor markets or industry or company. This is very important. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next question is for Mr. Anggai. Please.
Okay, the question is about the is Siamio have a special program for the teacher or students? Also, we have many programs. One of them is Simio lecture series that already transformed to C Creative Camp. Actually, the C Creative Camp, you can follow the competition and camp without you or you no need to submit the project, only to learn what the we call it maestro or master teacher, the lesson from or material from the maestro itself. So you will give many information about the emerging of technology. Actually, it's very related to IT. And then, actually, in at the end of my slide, also we produce the personalized learning model. It's based on unsupervised machine learning to determine your user or student in personalized. So it's similar with search engine or like recommender system. For example, students love or like to learn about augmented, but for example, not augmented reality, only augmented. What is augmented? And the software will suggest you or to suggest the students or teacher or researcher about the material in deep by context or by latent information, or we call it informasi tersembunyi, latent information. And we can provide the course like that in the IT technology. Okay, maybe that is.
Okay. Okay, the next questions for Mr.
Next question
Darmawan.
from Mas Agung Wisnu dari Bali Utara. Ada Bali Utara ya, Provinsi Bali Utara? Oh, bukan. Oke, maaf Ibu, gadis bercanda. Oke, jadi adakah, apakah Spada, Do Have Spada memiliki pertukaran guru dan siswa? Oke. We have student exchange for Spada Indonesia. We combine about the, actually it is a combination of general education, multicultural educations, and online learning for the process itself. This project is very sexy for the students, but unfortunately we have no scheme for the teachers exchange programs. We have only a students exchange program. This is what do we mean by student is university students. For 2016 and 2018, we have a project for only student from the LPTK, student for teacher education institution, to come to another LPTK to learn about to sit in the another LPTK about 2 months, and they learn with their own LPTK through online learning. So there is no program for teachers exchange. Perhaps we can propose this project for the Ministry of Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan, Ministry of Culture and Education. Not in Ministry of Research, Technology and Higher Education. Perhaps docent exchange, yes, lecturer exchange, and maybe we can provide it for the next program. Thank you very much, Pak Agung.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the speaker for all the answers you have given. We still have time? No, sorry. Unfortunately, we have running out of time. Maybe you are willing to have additional session for them. Maybe after this, maybe, yeah. or they can connect with.
You can see the information about e-learning or educational technology from my website.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I hope that will satisfy all you need. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give big applause to the remarkable speakers. I have no more to say, but again, I thank to the committee, to all participants. Thanks for participating in this plenary session, and have a good day.
Thank you. To all speakers, you are kindly asked to remain on stage to receive the token of appreciation from Mrs. Tia Kusumawardani, Head of Board of Education, Bali Province. Mrs. Tia Kusumawardani, please come forward to present the token of appreciation to all speakers. Let's give big round of applause one more time to all speakers on Plenary 5 discussing about vocational education, professional certification, quality assurance, integration of vocational education to Industry 4.0 competencies and qualification. Bapak Ibu hadirin peserta ISODEL 2018, kami sampaikan agenda kita selanjutnya adalah sesi paralel yang akan dilakukan di 4 ruangan